Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everybody, depending where you are. My name is Hubert O'Kern. For Tuesday, July the 9th, 2013, this is a book and a martini. I know it's been a long time in between episodes. Last time we talked, I was in Ireland. Now we're in England. But as always, we have a martini and hello, where's the screen? And we have books. Um, Broke the martini glass, but well, we'll get by. And you know what the toughest thing is to find in England? Ice cube tray. Don't exist. Cheers. So, since moving to England, I got to know a lot more publishers and authors and so forth. And it's been an utterly fascinating time. Both Ireland and England, it is wonderful being in countries that really respect books, authors, and read them, as opposed to just stacking them up on shelves or buying them in ebook form and letting them rot on your iPad or your Kindle reader. We have two to talk about today. Couldn't be more different if possible. The first one is Jimi Hendrix FAQ by Gary J. Yuka. Terrific book. As you may or may not know, a lot of my professional writing is in music as a writer for American Blues Scene magazine, among other outlets. And this is really one of the best books on music, stars, and music history that I have ever run across. It's incredibly well researched and is full of fascinating anecdotes. Um, I did an interview with Gary Yuka for American Blues Scene, which you'll be hearing pretty soon. You can find the link at americanbluesscene.com, and the radio station will be launching quite soon after the airing of this interview. There's a famous clip of Hendrix on the Dick Cavett show, where Hendrix very modestly says that I'm not a great guitar player. Yeah, the hell you weren't. That was really false modesty. One of my favorite parts of the book was the enormous rivalry and the absolute kick-ass attitude that Hendrix had towards Jeff Beck, Eric Clapton, Pete Townsend in particular. Sgt. Pepper had been released 3 days before a concert of Jimi Hendrix and the Experience in London. Hendrix spent his best and most creative period in London, England, after leaving the United States. And knowing that the Beatles were actually in the audience at the famous Hammersmith Odeon, 25 minutes before the show, Hendrix tells the rest of the Experience, we're opening with Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. He learns the song in 20 minutes, and he blows the room away, because what he wanted to prove was that he could play the Beatles songs better than the Beatles themselves. A brilliant talent. There's a shame in the United States that every now and then there's a movement to put Hendrix's image on a postage stamp. But you know, people don't really like that very much because, well, Jimi Hendrix did drugs. And the argument they don't say is that Jimi Hendrix is a black guy. As one of the great artists, he deserves his damn stamp. Okay? But you will thoroughly enjoy the book. You'll enjoy things like how possibly his girlfriend, possibly just his friend, a woman by the name of Linda Keith, who was the girlfriend of Keith Richards in the mid-1960s. Jimi always had really lousy guitars, and he was playing an important gig. So what Linda Keith did was that she stole, borrowed, Keith Richards' white Stratocaster and gave it to Jimi. You'll love this book if you care about music history, blues history, great players in general. I'll hold up the title again, or hold up the cover again. The cover actually has the title on it. Jimi Hendrix, FAQ, from Applause Books. Or pardon me, from Backbeat Books. Second book. This is a novel from Canada, from a wonderful novelist named Lauren B. Davis. And in one way, I don't feel really right talking about this here because the name of this show is A Book and a Martini. And the book, The Empty Room, is about a woman's 24-hour struggle with alcoholism. It's a shame, really, that, and obviously I enjoyed my colortinis, but as the cell phone rings, nice, good timing. As much as I do, I've seen the tragedies of alcoholism in my life through my own father, several friends, and so forth. And you know what? At the odd time, I've fought out the battle too. Lauren B. Davis is a recovered alcoholic for 18 years, and when I interviewed her, that interview, by the way, will be appearing on the Winnipeg Review. If you Google Winnipeg Review, you'll find it just fine. But it's a projection of her life, had she not quit drinking 18 years ago, and where she might be today in her 50s. It is utterly brilliant. It is harrowing. It is that traffic accident you see at the side of the highway, and you slow down, and you have to take a look at it. She gets alcoholism. I asked her. It's 18 years later. She didn't start this book until a year and a half ago. And I said that, were you afraid that you would forget what it was like? No, because you have to relive it absolutely every single day as a recovering drinker. The Empty Room, if it is not nominated for the Giller Prize, Canada's highest literary award, well, that and the Governor General's Award, I guess. If it's not nominated, it's a sham. It honestly should be nominated for the Booker Prize. It is impeccably written. There's not a loose character in it. There's not an unrealistic episode in it. And Lauren B. Davis can sure as hell write. So, there's my two recommendations for you for this week. So, slightly different sign-off. I've always signed off on this the way my old friend Tom Snyder did. From those of us who work the late shift, good night, everybody. But we have a slightly different one ever since we moved to England. So, to my beloved Lady Penelope Purple, I'll be seeing you soon, and I love you. Good reading, folks. Toodaloo.